All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And
Mikey's caught in the Matrix there.
He's doing something.
You guys feeling okay? What are you talking about?
Oh, those shrooms are kicking in. All right, so
you acting really strange.
Where was I? Oh yeah, welcome to the show, Ember.
Well, thank you.
You know what we do here. We chat with folks about how they found their way free of whatever belief systems they're a part of, and you and I spoke on Sunday. I was on Ember's show on Sunday, guys. So you know what I didn't do? I didn't put a link to that in the description box, and I should. Fucking
come on it.
That's all right. They can find it on my channel.
It's which is linked below, and also I think your Twitter is down there too, so people can stalk you. I mean, find you there as well.
Yeah, for sure. And all the interviews that I do go into their own playlist podcast thing, and yours is the newest, so it's right on top.
Ooh, I'm on top.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so dude, why don't you sort of tell us all about your journey away from the crazy ass belief system that you were once a part of, and as you know, I was a part of many as well. So.
Yeah, it's a bit of a complicated story, but weirdly, there's a lot of parallels with your own. So I feel a little better about throwing some of that crap out there. Because I was hesitant at first. I love doing collaborations with people. I love talking to people and going on their shows and having them on my shows and so on and so forth. But I didn't really feel like I had much to say because I didn't grow up Christian or anything. My parents were very, very hands-off. I found out after I turned 18 that they were neo-pagans, but they were very careful to keep their beliefs from us kids so that we could figure out our own shit. My grandmother, however, she didn't have any bones about trying to get me into Christianity. It didn't work, but she tried.
Oh yeah, like what do you mean when you say she tried? Did she like have you go to church with her and that kind of shit? Or?
Yep. I asked her a lot of questions. So when I was 4-ish, I saw an old school horror movie, and I love horror movies, but as a 4-year-old, it gave me an existential crisis. When I'm dead, I'm just gone. Whoa, my goodness, oblivion awaits. And so
the void waits for us all.
Yeah, exactly. So my grandmother happened to be the one that got to deal with that. And she went on and on about, you don't have to worry about that because, Jesus is up in heaven and he loves you and he'll make sure you go to heaven too, and et cetera, et cetera. And so I had many, many, many questions, more questions that she could answer. It's true.
Exactly.
We were talking about 80s movies just before we went live, so I figured that was the most appropriate thing.
I always liked Replicant because it was like duplicate and replacement all in one. I was like, oh, damn. Just built right in. Just like, this is to replace you.
Grandpa had the bone, I'm guessing.
Oh, damn it, Az.
Do you guys remember Cow and Chicken? It was on Cartoon Network. And they had that cousin boneless chicken. And he was just like a puddle of chicken on the floor. He's like, what's up, guys? And he's just talking from the ground.
We need some boneless chicken.
That dude was great.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
That show was a total fucking ripoff of Ren and Stimpy, though.
It's probably
the same animators?
I was about to say, it's probably the same crew.
It could be.
Yeah, I don't know. That was after my time. I saw Ren and Stimpy, but Cow and Chicken, I knew it existed, but I never really saw it.
It was our generation's. Wow, that's really too close up, isn't it?
What's too close up?
When they, like in Ren and Stimpy, where they would have like those scenes where it's like boom, and it's like the fucking navel, and it's like got crust all over. Like they would just zoom in for those really disgusting close-up shots. Cow and Chicken was the same show minus the close-up shots.
Oh, I see. That's unfortunate. Because that was where the artistry was, being able to count the lint in the belly buttons and count the pores around the nostril where the uterus could, all that.
Yeah.
Should have won Emmys for it or something.
Or Rotten.com's post of the year. I don't know. So that shit was rank. I'm like, oh, why is they scraping Ren's back? Gross.
Adventures.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
where were we? where the hell were we before we got off the cartoon?
What happens when 3 ADD people get on a stream together?
So anyways, I was playing That reminds me.
Yeah. See, Grandma kept trying to take me to church, and it kept not working because I kept having questions. Some of them were the basic questions, like how did all the animals fit on Noah's Ark? Some of them were a bit more in depth, like people say this God is the only God, but in his own commandments, he acknowledges the existence of other gods. What's up with that?
Yep.
And I can't say about every pastor, but all the ones in my area were not the we accept questions kind. So they usually asked my grandmother to not bring me back, and so she would change churches, and then we'd try again. And repeat. I must have been to a dozen churches by the time I was 7, and nobody wanted to talk to me. And I'm like, if they're afraid of the questions of a child, why does anyone believe this?
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that continued on for a while. And my grandparents on the other side, also Christian, but lived far, far away. But, every Christmas they'd send presents, and one Christmas around about 13, they sent me a big, fancy, cross-looking thing, and I'm like, what's the deal with this? And nobody I knew
where you're
knew
going
the
to end
significance.
up if you don't change your ways.
Yeah. either bend the knee or climb on it. That's the only two options, know?
No.
Ay.
We have a new member. Hello.
Air horns.
Da-da-da!
Thanks.
Yeah. Az is awesome. Az was my very first patron, and one of the first members once I got the channel past that 1,000 mark.
Look at Az.
Yeah.
You rock.
It's a good thing I didn't make that joke I was going to make earlier about making an as of himself. But.
And yet you just did anyway.
And yet I just did it anyway.
Well, luckily,
membership.
Yeah, well, what's the return policy on memberships? Can I do it that quick? Does it have a cool-off period? Where we get a chance to try to joke them back into the fold?
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Steph.
Hey, it's a Stephanie. Oh, so let's see.
So Grandma took you to church. That's gonna be our sentence for this show.
I want to hear about Christmas presents, man.
Oh, okay. Well, Christmas presents were pretty typical, I suppose. Like, 1 year I got a pencil box, but it was a neat pencil box. It had space shuttles on it, and it had lots of buttons. One button made a pencil sharpener pop up, and another button made like a drawer pop out, and yeah, it was.
It's a futuristic fucking shit. What's going
on? I was about to say, you didn't say you got the fucking sonic screwdriver of pencil boxes. You did.
It was the one feature it didn't have. I know it was weird because I was little and I was very into school supplies because they could do cool things, some of them, and the Trapper Keeper commercials were everywhere on television at the time, and they looked like the coolest thing ever. My family didn't have a whole bunch of money, so we couldn't actually afford a Trapper Keeper, but a nifty pencil box apparently was in the budget, so we went with that.
Hell yeah!
I'm like, hey, it's cool. Oh, it was.
None of my pencil boxes ever did that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very strange. My father was a CAD designer.
Cool.
A computer engineer who designed machines that built other machines and so on. And my mother was a nurse. And yet we lived on a farm. Okay.
Can't draw with all that city racket.
Yeah, my mother always loved animals, so we wanted to just collect a bunch of animals, and then once we had a bunch of animals, we were like, well, hell, we may as well start growing crops too, I suppose. And because they both worked, it was mostly my job to do the actual farming.
Boo.
So that was a fun time. Yeah. I actually didn't mind. Well, there
I
were
no longer
times I
like
minded.
the farm.
Yeah, like I love the animals too. I love the, building barns and building fences and like doing things and then being able to look and see the results of what you've done. That's pretty cool. But carrying the giant buckets of water that are half as big as you are from the house out to the barn in the middle of winter, that kind of sucked.
Wow.
Oh.
You know, pluses and
So-
minuses.
So I got this song in my head now. Old McEmber had a farm.
Oh, God.
I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, I don't
those
know.
kinds of
either.
ridiculous things go into my head all the time. So.
No, this farm I have to clean after what today? Okay. Cows.
We never had
Yeah.
cows.
That's good.
I don't know if we just didn't have space or what the deal was, but yeah, no cows, no horses, but we had pigs, goats, sheep, rabbits, geese, lots of chickens, occasionally ducks. Ducks are weird because sometimes they stick around and sometimes they don't.
They just leave.
Yeah,
Yeah, they fly. They
Just
can
like, I'm
fuck
out.
right off.
yeah, because unlike geese, chickens of course suck at flying anyway, but geese,
Yes.
wild geese can fly quite well, but domestic geese get too damn fat to fly. They can't get off the ground and stay there. But ducks, apparently they have a permanent metabolism like a teenager. They can eat and eat and eat all winter, and then the first day of spring they can just take off if they want to. So, whatever.
Ducks are sitting there going, "This shit wasn't in the brochure. We're out of here."
Yeah.
So you're talking about like the white kind of like the white goose with the orange bill, like the classic cartoon kind of goose, or like a Canada cobra chicken goose.
Some of them were the whiteys, but some of them were white and gray, but not like a Canada goose.
Right.
It's hard to describe. They
They're
look more
bigger,
like
right?
if you picture a white and gray kitten, that's more like the color pattern. Like there's a
Okay.
patch here and a patch here and a patch here. We had a really fun one. Her name was Gertrude. Most geese. Yeah, you never meet anybody named Gertrude. Most geese, they're not exactly what you'd call social. In fact, geese have a bit of a reputation for being assholes. But I'm certain that Gertrude was a reincarnated hairdresser
Oh,
because
jeez.
she not only liked to be picked up and held, but while she was being held, she would do your hair. She would just
She
tweak it with her beak and fix it and make it all pretty. She was also not a fan of smoking. If anybody who was smoking picked her up, she'd bite the cigarette and put it out and spit it away and then do your hair.
I
Nasty
had a
habit.
hockey feel like that.
Yeah. I was
Like,
like,
it just stinks. Get
Yeah.
rid of that for you. Did you know that was on fire?
here, let me help you out.
Ooh, fire alarm, fire alarm. Print
Yeah.
this off. Put it
Yeah,
in the-
so it was a fun time. It had its moments anyway. But yeah, the various experiences on the farm, of course, that kind of leads you more towards naturalistic sorts of thinking. There were like really hot summer days when I'm like, man, I could really use a breeze. And as soon as I said it, a breeze happened. And then I start thinking, did I
You're a
make that
wizard.
happen?
Hell yeah.
And
Get it with
so-
your mind. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And so, various things like that. So you start experimenting with like, is it possible to mind control nature? Is magic a real thing? And eventually you start finding the Wicca books and
The
shit.
truth.
Yeah. Well, sort of. So that's where I went in my teenage years, is I started exploring paganism and various things. I didn't stick with Wicca too terribly long because there was an occult bookstore in the next city over, and I went to one of their rituals. I don't know if it was one of the proper like solstice or equinox things. I can't remember. But I do remember doing the ritual. They did the thing. Basically, they cut and pasted the ritual from the Craft movie. And I'm like, I mean, I'm new here, but I don't think that's right.
Let
And then-
feather stiff as a board.
So they got done with it, and afterwards I went and chatted with the head honcho, and I said, so, how did you learn to do this? How long have you been doing it, and so forth? And he goes, oh yeah, I've been a high priest for 6 weeks. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. How long have you been practicing, though? I told you, 6 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay.
He made himself a high priest right
Yeah,
off.
exactly. I'm like, you just reach into a cereal box and boom, your toy is you're a high priest or something. I'm like, okay.
Oh, look, a wicked
Ta-da!
diploma. Sweet.
Yeah. So I
Go big or
discovered
go
there's
home, I guess.
yeah, there's a term in the pagan circles called fluffy bunnies. They're the people who know absolutely nothing but pretend they know everything, which kind of parallels many other religions.
Yeah.
So that turned me off from Wicca, but I still had this idea about like nature stuff and possibly ley lines, and maybe there's unseen
Oh,
forces that we don't know about. So I messed around with it for a really long time, trying to get candles to dance and fires to light on their own and all kinds of, and I saw just enough weird stuff that was not technically unexplainable, but borderline unexplainable. Like, I had a roommate, a guy I went to high school with who got kicked out of his mom's house, who seemed to be able to make a candle flame dance and go higher and whatnot in a closed room. No wind, no open windows, no air conditioner, nothing. He could just, like, do this, and the flame across the room would get taller and start to dance. I don't know. Other weird shit I've seen is like we'd flip coins to determine stuff, and when he decided to be weird about it, he'd like kind of stare at me, and then when I'd flip the coin, it would land on edge. And I'm like, maybe this dude's actually got something going. I don't know. So it was enough weird shit that I was able to suspend my skepticism and keep investigating and learning and trying to make things work. And well, I never did figure out exactly what the hell his trick was, but I didn't really see anything in it. And after a while, I just couldn't deny that anymore. I'm like, this is fun as like an intellectual exercise, but there's no reality to it. There's no substance. There's nothing behind the curtain, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I ultimately ended up feeling the same way about all the paganism shit that I went through as well.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I still hang out with pagans from time to time. There's a
Sure.
festival around these parts called Pagan Pride Day. And, they're great people. Most of them are very, very caring people. And even the great thing about pagans is every single one of them has a completely individual religion. Like there is no paganism. It's everybody has a different idea. Some of them are Greek pantheon, some of them are Norse pantheon, some of them talk to gods that no one has ever heard of, but they don't try to push their beliefs on anybody else. They just want to like do no harm and have a good time. And I can get down with
one
that.
of the tenets, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, Christians are kind of the same way, or actually any of the Abrahamic beliefs. You say, well, okay, well then describe God. They all have a different description of what God is.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh,
And
Lex.
It's been my experience that a lot of pagans are former Christians.
That's true too.
Yep.
A lot of them that I've run into, they just wanted to ditch the dogma and just do their thing.
Like they all talk about it at the front door. It's like, hey, by the way, we're not doing all the Christian shit. And everyone's like, oh, thank God.
One of the things as an ex-Jew, one of the things that kind of got me sort of leaning towards the whole pagan thing was the Kabbalah. Because that's Jewish mysticism. So that's kind of where I first got into the whole mysticism thing and the paganism, stuff like that. It's like Jewish pagans or something wrote this stuff. And Tree of Life or Knowledge or whatever the fuck it is. Or I think it's Life, Tree of Life.
Yeah, that's... I never really got much info on that. It sounded intriguing to me, but the fact that it's an offshoot of Judaism kind of turned me off a little bit, because I'm like, too mainstream.
Damn Jews.
But that does lead me to down some other pathways. I was also a huge book nerd. I'm still a huge book nerd, but details. The first time I heard about Kabbalah and the Tree of Life was reading Roger Zelazny's Chronicles of Amber. In the first book of the second series, where Corwin's son Merlin starts adventuring, he gets accosted by an evil wizard who uses the powers of Kabbalah to summon him and draw him into a pocket dimension to fight him and whatnot. And I'm like, what the hell is this all about? Well, the story moved on fairly quickly from there. But when I found out that Kabbalah was a real thing that people did, naturally I wondered if the magic powers described in the book are like that too. And that's not the case. But it's still... it made me like look into things like what else is in this book. And the main premise of the Chronicles of Amber is that there's underneath the reality that we perceive, there's many other dimensions, but they're not like parallel worlds. There's at the far ends of existence, there's two poles, order and chaos, and every world over is a little bit more order and a little less chaos, or going the other way, a little more chaos and a little less order. And these people of the bloodline of Amber, which rules the order side, have the ability to walk through these dimensions. And that idea intrigued me. I was like, what if you could focus your mind in such a way that you could actually walk into parallel worlds? And so I played with that for a while. I'm still not entirely convinced I didn't land in the wrong timeline. I mean, after all, 2020 happened.
Yeah, that didn't confirm
Yeah.
any timelines for me. That just made me think that everything was an episode of Community.
Just as a quick mention there, Dr. Tapioca Weasel and I are going to get something set up for him to come on the show. And apparently somebody did some gift subs. So,
Oh, neat.
wow, look at all the new subs. Or gift memberships, pardon me, not subs.
Yeah.
And hi, Ryan. And Bree just showed up. Hi, Bree.
Sweet. All kinds of fun
Yeah.
folks.
10 subs?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Dr. T does not mess around.
Wow.
Damn. I can't air horn.
He
don't
does
have
that
that
on
on?
Dapper sometimes too. He's like,
Yeah.
here. Well,
Have a membership.
he does it on Dapper in part because Dapper has a rule where he takes a drink for every gift sub. So when people really want to mess with him,
Let
a
there be less
bunch of
so.
people will all buy gift subs at the same time and make Dapper take like 30 drinks.
You know, I pop into his streams sometimes because me and him used to talk all the time. But every time I go in there, he is hammered. It's y'all. It's not his fault. Y'all been doing that to him.
Well, I mean, it's his rules. But yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, he's one of the most scientifically minded people on YouTube. And the fact that we can make him get more and more hammered is fucking great.
I think any attempt to bring him down to our level is an effort in futility, but earnestness. One of these days we'll be as smart as Dapper, but it's not any day soon.
Yes,
Ah.
yes, Ollie, I found that out, yes. Dr. Tapioca Weasel is awesome.
Yeah, it's weird how StreamYard will show us some things like super
Yeah.
chats and new members, but it won't show us gift members.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Right.
And also the emojis. Like some emojis show up, like the Twitch emojis come through just fine, but the YouTube emojis it's the
Just
dot
the
code.
prompts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Hang on, here we go.
But why? But why?
Work, you fucking. Okay, there we
Yeah, like that.
go. Hang on. Can you hear that?
A little bit.
Oh, it's because the volume's so low. That's why. Because I was at work and I was trying to do something I didn't want everyone to hear.
Yeah.
There you go. Just a fucking air horn app.
Yeah, I got to get an air horn on my StreamYard soundboard. I'm slowly collecting effects. I've got the sad trombone, the womp womp womp, and I've got the children cheering, the yay. But I still need an air horn.
This one's got. Hang on. It's got a hockey siren. Awesome. It's got all kinds of horns. Holy crap! All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that shit. I'm probably killing people's eardrums. Sorry, everybody.
It's not that loud, at least not through my headphones. But on the other hand, I've got my volume set at 32 out of 100. So
There you go.
Right at my fingertips, all these annoying sounds.
yeah,
I can add some more.
you can never
Always
have
looking
enough
for
sound
sticky.
effects. Yeah,
Exactly.
there's always more
That's
room
funny.
to play.
Of course. All these triple stoner haiku happen to be about him ordering some more weed from right around where I live. So, now it's got to go all the way across Canada.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah, the microphone got like really loud all of a sudden and then really quiet again.
It used to
Mine?
do that before, and then it started fixing itself. So I'm guessing there's a firmware issue somewhere,
This one?
or a software issue somewhere.
Yeah. It like we could hear all the background noise. I don't know if it's got like built-in noise canceling or there's a software running and it just like glitched for a second. But
I
Yeah.
have,
StreamYards.
I have a little AC unit over here that's going right now. I hope that's not too loud.
no, I can't even hear that at all.
Well, StreamYard glitches and it turns everything off and fucks up your volume every once in a while. It's doing the thing you used to do. The thing that
I
we
used
thought
to
was
turn everything off. It's probably why I'm single. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
Here we are.
yeah. I'm sad now.
Here
All right,
we
so
are.
On that happy note, thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah.
oh really? Okay.
There's a comic I keep sending my wife. It's like it's like this little turtle yelling at another animal on another cartoons. Which is like, I may not be the smartest or the fastest. And then there's like a break, and then like this friend pipes in. He's like, "You made yourself sad again, didn't you?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like, all right.
You know, one cool thing about not having any particular dedicated religious affiliation when you're growing up and searching for answers and trying to, hope some human has figured it out over all these thousands of years is you get to read all the weird shit that, if I had become a Christian, I never would have looked into. Like the tales of Shahrazad, for example. Like everybody's heard about the 1001 Arabian Nights, but nobody actually looks into it. And one of the tales that really, really stuck with me, partly because people keep referencing it without knowing they're referencing it, is the story of this one king who wanted his wise men to create for him an item of paradox, one that would make him happy when he is sad, but sad when he is happy. And at first I'm like, why the hell would anyone want that? But then I discovered Irish music, and I discovered that the ups and downs are what make you feel alive. But that's a totally different story. Well, the wise men...
Or if you get stuck laughing too hard and you can't turn it off, and then you start worrying about respiration, you're like, God, I really need to stop laughing. Like, I'm getting dizzy.
Yeah. That's only happened to me a couple times in my life, but it's
Challenge
an
accepted.
interesting moment. Yeah. And so the wise men, they did their thing. They tried a few different things. Nothing worked out until finally they came back to him with a ring. And the ring was inscribed with a short message that said, "This too shall pass." And he was like, oh, holy crap. Because when I'm happy, it'll pass. But when I'm sad, it'll pass too. So it kind of like moderated his mood. I don't know. Perhaps he was bipolar, manic depressive, however you want to phrase it. It's that's an interesting thing in and of itself.
So his wise men gave him the one ring. And that's how he conquered Frodo and his action friends in the documentary
Action friends.
Lord of the Ring Wars.
I don't know. When you said action friends, it reminded me of that old show, The Ripping Friends, for some reason. Don't remember The Ripping Friends?
No, but in fairness, ever since we mentioned Dapper, I've had Power Rangers going through my head. So,
I love Power Rangers
Hilarious.
so much.
Hey, spooky. Spooky.
Hello,
Spooky.
hello. The spookiest bed hair.
All right, so let's get back to the. All right, so now you're a pagan. What comes after that?
Let's see. Where were we?
I became a Shriner.
Yeah. if only. Well,
Water
let's see.
Buffalo Lodge.
It's not strictly relevant to my theological development, I suppose, but when I turned 18, the same buddy that lived with me that could do tricks with candle flames and shit somehow talked me into joining the Navy would be a good idea.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, even though I was like, so I had this idea. At the time I called it like soul matrix theory, and it's this concept that the soul is real. It's an Aristotle kind of soul. It's the animating force in all life. Every living thing has it, and that's the difference between a living thing and a dead thing. Is
That's
no
called
soul.
the brain.
The all spark.
Yeah,
The All-Star. There you go.
yeah. And so I did this thought
Autobots,
experiment.
Roll out.
I was like, okay, people have this idea of God, this non-physical, intangible, yet powerful and aware thing that's able to influence the material world. How could we demonstrate such a thing might exist? And I said, well, if we take the soul, and if you take your belief, you use your belief to pinch off a little bit of it and dedicate it over here to this idea of a God. Even though it's only a little bit, if thousands of people all put little bits of their soul towards this idea of a God, millions, billions of them even, now you have this great big ball of soul goo that has no physical component, a shit ton of power, and it just exists, right? And that kind of comported with things that I'd read in other books, like the Swords trilogy, where the gods fade away when people stop believing in them. Belief is what powers God. So I'm like, aha, now we've got this thing. Well, I ran across an organization called the Universal Life Church. And one of their tenets, I suppose, is that if someone bothers to believe in something, then it's real enough for them. It at least should be respected as a
the
belief.
My Truth bullshit. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of. It's a everybody is right sort of deal. Even the people who say my way is the only way because they believe it, so it's true for them. So it kind of jived with what I was thinking about how, like, if one God can be real, all of them can be real based on how many people believe and so on and so forth. And that may be why God doesn't appear to non-believers, because the power is linked to the souls of the believers through their belief. And I had a whole thing worked out in my head, but you get the general idea. So I started working with the Universal Life Church. I became ordained, which is, they're one of the joke ministries. People just, you can get ordained online. Lots and lots of people did it just for the joke of it. But I actually did weddings and shit using that ordination. Yeah. Yeah, not super many, but it's always a good time because whatever a person's belief system is, there's always, it's about that celebration of love and their community, and I'm really happy to be able to be a part of that kind of thing. It's really neat.
See you, Weasel. Gotta catch a plane.
Ah, the plane.
The plane, boss.
Yeah, flights are rough. But TLDR, got the ministry through them, started doing some of their courses on metaphysics and such, and then time to join the Navy. So I told the Navy what I was up to.
In the Navy.
Yeah, I was considering being a chaplain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I actually signed up to be a chaplain. And a weird thing about the Navy, I don't know if they still do this, but at the time, we're talking the very end of the 90s, they only had two religions. You were either a Catholic or a Protestant. If you were Jewish,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
Protestant. If you're Hindu, that's Protestant.
Protestant.
Yeah, pagans, also Protestant. So,
They didn't even have an other option?
no, that was it.
Wow.
I mean, I was
Wow.
still leaning pagan-ish myself at the time, and they're like,
Right.
nope, that's Protestant. I'm like, what if, I gotta meditate, dude, what the hell? They're like, yeah, you use, use the Protestant chapel hours. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
We got two flavors, Protestant and Diet Protestant.
Yeah.
Catholic and Diet Catholic. You're Diet Catholic.
That's pretty much. I'm like, why not call it Catholic and not? At least you're not sucking as much that way. But I mean,
Yeah.
sucking is kind of what the Navy's all about, though, right? Like the first thing you learn to do is march. Why? Nobody marches up and down battleships. The fuck is the point? I know why they do it. It's to instill discipline and get you to behave like a unit. There's other ways to do that are less stupid.
You're a unit.
I know.
Adam.
I mean, like, people talk about how the Navy has so many ships. Did you know that every single building on a Navy base is technically a commissioned vessel? They all have names. They all have registry numbers, USS fucking bedroom or whatever, you know? They're all on the inventory as actual ships. It's such bullshit. Anyway, the Navy did what all the military does. They change your mind for you. So I didn't end up becoming a chaplain. Instead, they put me in bomb disposal. So that was fun. that didn't really affect the religion thing one way or the other, though.
You did say bomb disposal, right?
Electronic ordnance disposal, technically.
Okay.
It's safer that way.
Yeah.
We used to just have a bucket.
Just jump on it.
Yeah.
Put the bucket on top, poke it with a stick.
Catch. Yep.
Poke it with a stick.
Yeah. So, you know, I had to do watches a lot of nights, guarding the stairwell to make sure no
Night
pirates
watch.
came up and shit. So that's when I finally read the Bible all the way through.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, those begats. That is not the book you
Oh,
want
I
to read when you're
know.
trying to stay awake.
What's
I
that?
know, it's like-
What's that chapter
It's all
called?
big guy, Jake.
Numbers?
All right.
Is that Numbers? What is that?
Oh, shit, there's pirates.
There's some of it in Genesis. There's some of it in Exodus. It's in a couple other places too. They do that a lot.
That's right.
Yeah. And I got my hands on a copy of the Book of Mormon. I actually considered Mormonism for a little while because, you know, when you're
By
in...
the Jolly Roger. There you go.
Yeah. See, Flying Spaghetti Monster, where the pirates are the prophets, that would have been pretty appealing for a Navy person. But, you know. But yeah, Book of Mormon was interesting. As you know, we're reading that with Aaron, but I read through it briefly while I was in the Navy. It had a nice little index on the back, like answers to big questions about life, like what is our purpose and why did God make us and what does God want and all that crap. So I looked up those parts. I like the Book of Mormon's answer. It's that
Magic underwear. No?
that's a whole separate thing. No, specifically to what is the purpose of life. It's life is to be enjoyed. Like that's why it's here. Go have fun. I'm like, okay, I can get down with that. Yeah. So I thought about Mormonism for a little while, but then, you know, I actually read some of the book and I was like, yeah, okay.
This reads like fan fiction.
It's like, oh man, you're not
Pretty
even
much.
trying. You're not even trying at this point. This is just lazy.
I know. It's like we keep saying over on our ends. It's almost like Joseph Smith set out to write the most unbelievable story he could just to see if people would believe it.
Because at a certain point, he must have been like, oh, no, that's too far. And they just went with it. He's like, no, we love it.
Yeah. So that was trippy. So I didn't end up becoming a Mormon. Which is probably for the best, because I found out later they tend to frown on alcohol and other, you know, goodies that we secular people like to enjoy from time to time.
Yeah, like blacks in the 80s.
That too.
No.
Who didn't enjoy
I think the Urantia book is wacky. Or, sorry, if you think the Book of Mormon is wacky, you got to read the Urantia book.
The what now?
Urantia book.
You just made that up.
Urantia. Written somewhere between 1924 and 1955.
Is that the numbers thing?
It originated in Chicago. La la la.
Oh man.
No, not numbers. It's kind of like the Bible meets Star Trek, I guess would be a good way to do it.
Okay.
Beings of light, and Jesus was some sort of alien, or I don't fucking know. Anyway,
man.
I have a copy somewhere here.
I did not click on this in a save tab. Fuck.
What have you done?
I don't know who the author is.
They got me.
The author is anonymous, just like the Bible from fucking books too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a spiritual, philosophical, and religious book that originated in Chicago, Illinois. Authorship remains a matter of debate. So there you go. It's on Wiki.
It just magically appeared.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Urantia Foundation.
We finally got evidence of something being poofed into existence.
That's right.
Something from nothing.
Yeah. Yahweh confirmed, I guess.
Checkmate, atheist.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here's the parts of the book. There's apparently 4 parts here, or the first 4 parts of the book is the central and super universes is part 1. The story of the universe of universes, and part 2 is the local universe, which is the story of our part of the galaxy. And part 3 is the history of Urantia. And Urantia is the actual name of this planet. The planet's not actually named Earth. So Urantia is the actual name of the planet. And
I mean,
part
it beats
4,
Dirtball.
and third rock from the sun, right?
Yeah, I mean, they'd always confuse the hell out of me. I studied the sciences too when I was little. I loved the sciences. I was super interested. And I got my hands on like the beginner's book of astronomy or whatever. And I'm like, okay, Mercury, super fast, named for the appropriate god. Venus, very pretty in the evening sky, named for the appropriate goddess. And, Jupiter's big and powerful, and Saturn is lurking behind Jupiter, and Mars, red, god of war. Okay, it makes sense. And then there's Earth. I'm like, we named our planet Dirt? What the fuck, guys?
And then
the ancients couldn't do better than that. And they're like, oh, no, that's just what we call it today. In the old days, they called it Terra, like terra firma. And I'm like,
right.
Which means dirt.
Dirt! Yes.
Haven't you ever seen
dirt?
Haven't you ever seen dirt? Doesn't that just make you want to name shit? Dirt.
Yeah. Like, who's in charge of the fucking naming, Like, oh, the moon is the same way. Like, oh, well, it's not
What's
really
your
the
moon's
moon,
name?
it's called Luna. What does Luna mean?
Look.
Oh, it's a moon. Cool.
We're not good at everything, okay? We're only good at certain things.
I know, it's like the tale of the fuck, I can't remember the details. It doesn't
We're all
matter.
just dirty. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the philosopher guy. He names one child Michael and one child Gabriel and one child Susquehanna. Fucking these elaborate fancy names, and then comes to the 12th child and is like, "You're Joe." Like, but why?
And you is Frank.
Apparently, I'm supposed to check see if we have a new slot for another emoji.
Ooh,
Yeah, he did 5 more.
yeah, Jesus, with 15 new memberships, you probably have a slot.
Yeah, I think we graduated to the next level.
Damn,
Gina.
damn, Doc, that's awesome.
Thank you.
If the moon had a moon, what would they call it? A satellite.
A moon.
Moo.
Yeah. So
confused.
okay, so you're probably familiar with the legend of Fenris. The big
Yes.
fucking wolf that's going to eat the sun and all that shit.
Yes.
So in World of Warcraft, they have a moon wolf. It may even be named Fenris. I can't fucking remember. But if you fight this critter on the right holiday, it can drop a pet that your character can then have and follow it around. And it's a baby version of the boss, and it's called Moon, because the big one is Moon, so it's Moon. Yeah.
It's like the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper.
Kinda, maybe.
I just always thought those names were just kind of like, really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Or the trapezoid.
Sailor.
I'm like, somebody's phoning this shit in.
Yeah, trapezoid.
Yeah. It's trapezius, which means what?
Yavin.
Like this one's the
always-
bear, this one's the lion, that one, I don't know, it's a fucking shape.
So we got the Pegasus, the dragon, the trapezoid, the hunter. Which one of these is sounding like they weren't trying that day?
Mhm.
They could have made it the shield, or they could have did something.
Can I find it?
It's that right.
So we'll have to make up some more little emojis there. I think. Do we have like little spinning faces of you and me yet, Mike? Do we have any of those?
Spinning faces.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
No, how you can like little spinning faces of you and me.
Can you make the
And have
YouTube
it spinning
emojis be
or
animated?
I don't know if I can animate the emotes for.
Now I want to look.
I honestly don't know.
I don't
I've
either.
never-
That's why I was asking.
I've never been to that level of monetization.
You have reached a new level.
Let's see what happens if I hit replace image. Can I?
It
It's only
probably
showing me
replaced image.
JPEGs. Well, JPEGs and PNGs.
Oh. Then you need to have like little GIFs or something, don't you, for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes, I
know.
say GIF.
I'll have to ask Peter sometime because he seems to have workarounds for every freaking thing to be able to
I
make
know he does.
static
It's amazing.
photos spin and shit. It's a trip. It's a trip.
Yeah, he made my spinning logo thingy for the outros or whatever that I have there.
Ah, cool.
Like he did the same thing for Arn with the Zoptos, right?
Yeah.
Spins.
Yeah, and he did Mark Reed's animation and well, Jackson Wheat, of course, because he produces shows
Yeah.
on Jackson Wheat's channel. He's offered.
Jackson's awesome. I have his book, by the way. Him and Roland have their book.
Cool. I've
Rocks were
seen
there.
somebody referenced it the other day.
Really? It's
Yeah,
pretty good. I've only read
a couple of weeks ago. They were like, we were talking about like the age of rocks and what the rocks had witnessed and so on. And somebody goes, "Yeah, there's this book by this really famous dude called The Rocks Were There, but I can't remember much about it."
Really famous.
And I'm like, "Hold on,
You're talking about
hold
Jack.
on." I'm like, "I've seen ads for that, which means it's a stream I've watched. Who did it?"
Who done it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a huge book. I'm like, when I first heard he was doing it, I'm like, Jackson, hey, let me do the voice work for you for the Audible version. He's like, you're not going to want to do that. Like, oh, why? He goes, because it's like this fucking thick. That's why. I'm like, oh, well, that'd probably take me 2 years to do.
Oh no, buddy! They need that shit by the end of the week.
You
That'd
need
work.
to do 600 takes.
Yeah, no days off, big guy.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's rough. Yeah,
I'll
you
save that for the after party. I have an announcement, people, but I'll save it for the after party.
okay. You probably have several slots open because it looks like you still have your 4 basic emojis, but haven't added any more. So let's
Damn it,
see.
0.
Yeah, you should have at least 4 more slots, and I'm assuming you have other members besides the ones Dr. D gifted. So you probably have several. So you've got at least 4 slots and probably more. So you got some work to do.
You know, Dr. Tapioca Weasel, again, thanks for all the gift memberships. That's amazing. But I'm shocked that Stephanie didn't end up with one. How does it work exactly?
Well, when somebody drops gifts, that's the first time YouTube will ask you if you want to turn on allowing gifts. So you have to miss the first round of gifts in order to even be able to accept them. Unless there's not enough people with gifts enabled so that it gives you the option before all the gifts are handed out.
Oh.
Yeah, but if everybody's got them turned on, the magic algorithm elves just play eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Oh, Doc, the font sizes. Yeah, I got to break out the old reading glasses to do that sucker. That's why I've only read like about that much of it so far. Plus, it's a time issue thing. I'm a busy man. What can I tell you? I got lots of things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what I've read so far, it's really cool how they talk about this stuff. Put it in placeholder so you can swap it out. What? Okay.
Just stick shit in the emoji slot so YouTube can't take them away.
Oh, put placeholders in there.
Yeah. Yep.
A
Even if
P
it's
and
the
an L
same
and
one over and over, just put something in there to hold the spots.
right. Okay. Gotcha. Stephanie got the short straw. So before we wrap this up, because we've only got like 9 minutes left here, like exactly 9 minutes. Just turned over to 51.
Bold of you to assume we're going to be on time.
Oh no, we will be. 'Cause we have a whole after party to do the rest of this in. Anyway, before we wrap this up, at what point do you think you would have called yourself an atheist? Like you say, all right, I'm done with all of this shit. I don't believe in any gods. I don't believe in any supernatural bullshit. I don't believe in any pseudoscientific woo-woo nonsense. I am a skeptic atheist. Like, when do you think that point kind of hits you?
Well, I generally drifted towards agnosticism. Like, I don't know, and neither does anybody else apparently. And I kind of stuck there for a while. And I'd heard the word atheist, but my understanding was that was specifically the active claim there are no gods. And I'm like, well, I don't fucking know. I don't even know how one would test for a god. All of these things seem to be unfalsifiable. So it's not even really my problem. If a god wants me to know he exists, it's on him to show himself. So I just drifted along as agnostic. And then Forrest Velkai attacked. He's the guy who kind of brought me into, not deliberately, right? I caught his science stuff on his channel, and it was great because the way he presents, he's so active, he's so vibrant, he's so knowledgeable. I freaking love the dude. So I started binging his stuff, and once the algorithm noticed that I liked Forrest Velkai, it started showing me the Atheist Experience, which he sometimes hosts. Mm-hmm. And once I got a hold of that, holy crap, there's a whole community of people who believe like this is maybe we're not anti-theist. Some of us are, some of us are atheists, but all of us are like, we don't really have a reason to believe any of this shit. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. So actually that's partially related to why I'm even here, and I suppose that kind of fits with the origin story thing. A month or two after I started, we lost you, JC. Tragedy.
I don't even know who that is, but
that's a whole other story.
That's fine.
Yeah, maybe we'll discuss him in the after party because it is a tale. But
all right.
Yeah. TLDR. As you know, Matt Dillahunty left the Atheist Experience, and they realized they didn't have enough hosts. So they started putting out a call for hosts. And I was like, I have a microphone, I have a camera, and I have a pretty damn good internet connection. And I can talk about any of these issues. I'm open to discussing. And I had an idea. Like, I appreciate the way Matt Dillahunty can lay a smackdown on people. Everybody loves to watch it, but it occurred to me that might not be the most effective way to have a productive conversation where you actually convince people.
Yeah, which I would agree with, yeah.
Yeah, so I contacted the ACA, and I'm like, hey, I saw you need hosts. This is a thing I can do. Like, I've been a DJ. I was in community theater my entire high school thing. Like, performance is not a big deal for me. I can do that. Like, I was on the debate team in high school, and I've been taking debates wherever I can ever since. So it's like, argument is not really a problem either. I can do all the things you need. Plus, I have this different idea for an approach that might make a friendlier, more welcoming atheist community. And they were like, cool. Well, we don't put new people on the big show. You have to start on one of the little shows, and we got to see how you do. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I was going to be on Secular Sexuality the day after they canceled it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, misfire.
I know. I mean,
See, I've done Truth Wanted. I've done Talk Heathen a couple times. Truth Wanted a couple times. You know, and they've never and of course I was a regular for quite some time on fuck's it called? Come on, people, help me. You guys know. Come on, what the hell was it called?
Oh, nonprofits.
Yes, thank you. My mind just went.
I'm not telling you.
My brain does that all the time too. I'm just like trying to think of the other ACA shows.
I was trying to help you, but I was also muted, so there's that.
Yeah, but you were on the nonprofits too, though.
Yeah, I was like the one that we were on, nonprofits. Hello?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Hello? Anyone?
Yeah.
Bueller?
But that's why I started a channel, because I was talking to producer Katie, and she was like, we need to see how you are on camera. Like, all this sounds great on paper, but we need to see how you are on camera. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll start a channel, and you can
Ember,
see.
you showed up naked, didn't you?
What now?
You showed up naked, didn't you?
I'm always naked underneath my clothes.
Well, there's that, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, that's why my channel started, was so I could show the ACA what I could do, so that I could help the ACA.
Have you ever done an atheist experience?
No. Nope.
I
don't know if it was the awkwardness of the sudden, like, so it was really, really weird. Like, they were really, really excited at first, and then they just kind of shunted me to secular sexuality, and they were like, Christy's going to handle everything. And, you know, Christy's great. I had Christy on my show, you know. I love Christy. But we worked stuff out. Yeah. Well, you should.
Which is weird.
Yeah, you should. Christy's
there's
a fantastic guest.
There's a lot of people who have slipped through the net. I'm just calling it out.
Yeah,
all right. So put some fucking names down then, so we can get the shit going.
They know who they are. Get your asses over here. They're in the audience right now.
Probably not even watching.
You know you're supposed to come on here and do your episode. You know. You already know.
Randolph showed up too, and he's giving everybody crap for not liking the video. So
let that be a lesson to you.
I mean, in fairness, that's sort of. It's great when people in the chat do it, but it is technically our job to be like, hey, you like what we do? Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. It helps a lot, more than you think. And it's super easy, costs you nothing. Just do the thing. If you really like what we do, find the Patreon down below, you know?
Yeah, or the member, or I have a direct PayPal. No, you know what? My PayPal me doesn't work anymore, apparently. So.
Oh, you broke it.
Probably just need a new link. They changed it probably about 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right, you know.
Just same thing, just a new link.
All right. Well, fuck it.
Yeah.
I say we get into an after party. But Ember, thanks for sharing the minute story. You're just bouncing around in paganism there, and then we just had some fun all the way around all of that. We're gonna have more fun, folks. If you want to be involved in the after party, let Mikey or I know. You can reach Mikey, this one there on Twitter there. And, of course, my Twitter shit's all in the description box below. Or you can email me. Or you can pray. We might hear it.
Just yell out your window.
Consult the spirits.
That's Confucius. Let's see if it pops up in the fortune cookie when you open it. I don't know. I'm just reaching for shit now. Anyways, thanks, everyone in the chat, for hanging out with us. And, of course, Ember, dude, thank you so much for coming on here. I had blast with you on Sunday. And we just kind of elongated that right through here, I think. So
yeah. I still need to get you back for part 2, because we had too much story for one episode.
Right, exactly. We shall do that.
Yeah.
Let's just make people wait for a bit. Sorry. Anyway, thanks to all our wonderful patrons and our members and all our new members tonight. Like,
Tapioca Weasel. And the other 15 of you.
Tapioca Weasel is my new favorite human being, and we're definitely gonna have to get the Tapster on the show, and do some chit chatting with him as well.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him for a while too, because I mean, you know, skeptic, physicist.
He's a
like,
weasel. They're lanky, and skinny and greasy, and they get out of your grip, right?
Greasy.
So, I don't know. Shit falls out of the bottom hole of my face sometimes, and I just can't stop it. What can I
Damn
do?
Canadian weasels covered in.
I know. It's actually.
Well, I mean, if he is covered in tapioca, he would be kind of Slippy.
Slippery.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Hard
Yeah.
to keep a hand on.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck you, Ember. We went past the hour. Anyway.
What did I say? What did I say? Breaking the rules.
Perfection is only for the creator, Neil.
I know. The creator. Angel music. Did I forget anything?
When you
Come
said
back for the after party.
When you said angel music, I thought Eva not Eva Longoria.
Eva Longoria?
Neogenesis. What's the mech show?
Oh, Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
And then those angels are like, oh. You just hear the choir note, and then there's just an explosion. It's like, God damn, this show's great.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Come on, let's get out of here so we can eat tacos.
Yeah, join us for the after party. We'll talk old board games like BattleTech and shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, that's it, guys.
Jesus.
Hang on here. Let's see what we got here. Hang on. Let's get some volume on this one. All right, here we go. The way to bring it to a close. Here we go.
Woo!
Is that all
It's
you
not
want?
fucking working.
I got just say you want
You
some
broke that one too.
I got air horns for you, big dog. Oh.
Ooh, full of explosion. There we go. All right. Anyways, guys, until next time, like I always say at the end of the interview section, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys at the after party. Linked below. See you there.
Bye.